Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Whittinger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center, and our Thursday has turned smoky. This smoke is from the immigrant fire that's over the Willamette National Forest well to our southwest. But earlier today, that smoke was just stretched along the Cascades. You can see it, and once winds turned to the west or coming out of the west, that's when we started to see this smoke roll into the region. And right now, we have smoky cameras across the entire Tri-County area. Looking at a few more cameras, we have very reduced visibility. It's not quite zero, but you can see in each one of these Oregon Hazards Lab cameras a lot of smoke. Now in Grizzly Mountain, that is very low visibility. And here's a look at where we sit right now. A ridge of high pressure is over the Pacific Northwest. That causes subsidence. Subsidence is pretty much the air pushing down in the atmosphere. And earlier today, that smoke was lined up along the Cascades. And then winds turned coming from the west, and that pushed the smoke down through the east slope of the mountains and into the lower elevations right now through the 97 corridor. Now, this is one of the main reasons I've been hyper-focused on the immigrant fire since it started earlier this week, or since we found out about it earlier this week, is the smoke implications as well as what's happening in the Willamette National Forest. So meanwhile, when we go ahead and look at our air quality through the Tri-County area, the hourly average from the DEQ is good to moderate air quality. But we see the smoke. We know the smoke is there, and real-time sensors are showing unhealthy for sensitive groups to unhealthy in Bend, as well as Tumlo. And in Sisters, it is unhealthy. But let's take it a step further and look at the purple air sensors, because even the eSpace, not quite real-time sensors, and they do show an average through the last 30 minutes to an hour. When it comes to the real-time sensors from Purple Air Network, most of Bend is unhealthy, Sisters is unhealthy, Redmond is unhealthy for sensitive groups, and we even have some purple and what looks like could be maroon down towards Lapine and Three Rivers. So we're talking very unhealthy or hazardous air quality conditions for some. So we're not done. Now again, this smoke is coming from the immigrant fire, and that is well to our southwest, actually about 70 miles southwest of where the flat fire has been grabbing a lot of our attention. In fact, it is just about 17 miles to the southeast of Oak Ridge, and Diamond Peak is right here if you can follow my mouse. Now this is still burning in the Willamette National Forest, and it continues to grow little by little each day. So not quite into the Umpqua National Forest, but we have crossed over into Douglas County with this burn scar, or the footprint of this fire. And that was what happened yesterday. So we're continuing to track this. Meanwhile, when it comes to fire evacuation zones for the flat fire, we haven't seen too much change since yesterday. Yesterday, a lot of those evacuation zones, the level 3 was pulled in closer to the perimeter of the fire. Actually in Deschutes County, we've dropped all of the level 3 go now evacuations, and it's all level 2, even where it was level 3 yesterday. So that is definitely some good news. Now, let's get back to smoke. Here through the overnight hours, we still have pockets of dense smoke, poor air quality, and low visibility, and that continues through Friday night into Saturday. So into our long weekend, we still have this smoke. When it comes to satellite and radar, there's not much happening out there. Most of the precipitation well off to our east, even with another system offshore. This high pressure is going to just keep control of the weather pattern with a dry air mass just building over the Pacific Northwest. So when it comes to our high-resolution forecast model, well, not much is changing. By Friday, a little bit more cloud cover, not much in the way of rain chances. Same thing happens on Saturday. So when it comes to relative humidity, we are dry, 20s and teens in percentages. Now, high temperatures today were in the 90s and 80s. That puts us well above average for this time of the year, and for many of us, we're still really close to that. But going forward, our temperature change right now actually is between 2 degrees cooler and 13 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. But by tomorrow, we warm up a little bit more. We're still talking 90s and 80s, and we actually stay on either side of 90 degrees for a couple of days, going all the way through the next 5 days. And through this Labor Day weekend, we start to heat up on Sunday. Monday, we really see that heating trend taking control, and we're well into the 90s, well above average for this time of the year. Going forward forward through the next 7 days, I'm not even going to show you that forecast model because it's really just in and out clouds. So between now and by the time we get to Saturday at 11 p.m., we're dry with the exception of a few sprinkles possible on Sunday. So let's dive in, take a closer look at that. Most of it is going to be with some of that in and out cloud cover. Most of it isn't even going to reach the surface. Meanwhile, wind gusts between 10 to 20 miles per hour, actual wind speeds 2 to 12 miles per hour. So for tonight, we're looking at temperatures falling back into the 50s and 60s with some 40s out there. Also a whole lot of smoke sticking around through Friday when temperatures are going to be in the 80s and 90s. Here's your 7-day planner. We do see temperatures stick around 90 degrees on either side of it through Sunday with that smoke staying in our forecast. By Monday, on Labor Day, the heating trend begins. Now, if smoke is still in the air by then, we are looking at temperatures not getting as hot as they typically could this time of the year. But ultimately, here's a rundown of your weather headlines: high pressure and a rain-free forecast, except for the potential of a few sprinkles Sunday, but they'll be few and far between. I don't think a lot of that's going to reach the ground. Summertime heat returns really, and our breezes are going to shift the smoke each day. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. More details on that smoke as well. See you then.